Are you struggling to meet new people, not sure what to talk about, or how to start a conversation? No worries, I've got you. Don't miss the Art of Connection virtual workshop happening on July 30th at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. I've partnered with the Toronto Dating Hub to create a brand new workshop that will help you navigate social situations with ease. During this workshop, you'll learn how to appear more inviting and use positive body language. You'll learn how to master conversation starters, compliments, and icebreakers. And you'll build confidence with active listening and sharing engaging stories. This interactive workshop includes breakout rooms and group discussions so that you can practice what you learned. Space is limited, so get your tickets now. Go to patternsofpossibility.com/events to learn how you can master the art of networking. Hey, what's going on? My name is Coach Lee Hopkins. My pronouns are he, him, his, and you're listening to the Patterns of Possibility podcast. This is a podcast dedicated to helping you replace harmful patterns with new possibilities. In each episode, we explore topics that inspire you to be yourself, live your truth, and make lasting connections. In this episode, we're going to talk about being misunderstood. If you're constantly being misunderstood, people are not grasping what you're saying, or they're misinterpreting it, or they're switching it around, this is the episode for you. We're going to talk about why that happens and what to do about it so that you can have clearer communication and better connections. Are you ready? Let's go. Okay, so I was in the middle of this conversation and another person joined, and I'm listening to these two people talk. And one person decided that they were going to share some insight or share something, right? And the other person immediately got defensive. They got defensive and they didn't like what it was that person number one said. So person number two was like, "Arr," and they said some defensive stuff back. And I was like, wow, this is really interesting. I wondered, what did that person hear? What did that person hear? Because I heard something that didn't impact me the same way. I heard some insight, something valuable, something important, something interesting. And the person number two didn't feel that way at all. And I'm like, oh, that's happened to me before. I felt that way. Well, what did you mean by this? I felt offensive. What do you mean by this? Why did you say that? Those questions, when those kind of questions pop up, you know that somebody has been offended. Why did you say that? Why did you say that? Why you say it that way? What did you really mean? You know what? They don't really care. They don't really care about why you said it that way or they're in their feelings. They're 100% in their feelings. And when people get in their feelings, it's hard to get them out because they don't even realize they went there. They didn't realize that they're there based on what you said. And so you might find yourself being misinterpreted a lot. You might find yourself saying things that people just don't understand, or the tone or the way, however it is that you say the thing. And it's really frustrating because all you're trying to do is communicate. All you're trying to do is share your experiences and your insight, or maybe you're just trying to share something that might be fun and interesting to you, and you're hoping that they would laugh at it. You know, and they take it the wrong way. Like quotes for that, the wrong way. It doesn't land. As I say, the impact doesn't land as the intention was intended. It wasn't intended that way. And often we get stuck and frustrated with them because we don't know what to do. We don't know what to do when that happens. We just chalk it up to, man, they just are sensitive. Or, man, they just don't know how to take a joke. Or, you know, I didn't mean it that way. Fix yourself. You fix yourself, that other person that you were talking to. And why don't you rehear it the way I said it? Why don't you go back and hear what I said? But that's frustrating to have somebody go into their feelings, and the wrong kind of feeling. It's the wrong feeling. If you're trying to spread joy and excitement and intrigue, and they're mad, they're frustrated, they are defensive against you, then I want to say that it is 100% your fault. Okay, turn the podcast off. I lost listeners right here. It was 100% your fault. It's not. I just make stuff up, but it's not really. But the only thing I said, the 100% your fault, because you can control what you say and how you say it. Of course, those are the only things that you can, but you can't really control how people respond to it. But you can be conscious of the response that people have. If your impact, if what you said didn't land the way that you had meant to, it's up to you to pay attention with that emotional intelligence that you've got, that you get. You need to pay attention to what's going on. Get out of your own feelings. Like, I didn't mean it that way. I didn't mean it that way. Yeah, well, it came across that way. And that's the kind of conversations you have. Look, I didn't mean that. I was just trying to be helpful. I was just trying to be supportive, I was just trying to make a joke. I was just trying to share something that was funny to me. And you didn't take it the right way. And you got upset. And the other person would be like, that's not funny. That hurt my feelings. Or that was annoying. I didn't appreciate your advice, your insight, or so forth. Don't get stuck there. Don't get stuck right there having that kind of conversation. If you realize that you have impacted this person, or they have felt something by what you said that didn't land the right way, it's up to you to investigate. So if you want some clarity in what's happening with them, you investigate with some curiosity. I'm curious about what you heard. I'm curious about what you felt. And if you talk about yourself, you'd be like, yeah, I didn't mean it that way. I don't know why you feel that way. That might not be helpful either, to ask them why they feel that way, or what's going on with them. They don't know. They're in their feelings. So there's this tool that's not new. It's out there. And I was surprised when I learned it. And I want to share it with you today. And you probably heard of it. They call it, reflecting back or echoing. I know I've talked about stuff like this, but reflecting back what they heard or their feelings, so that you can be understood. You're like, oh, well, I gave you some information that I thought was really great. What did you hear? What did you hear me say? And have them reflect it back to you. Although I heard or I felt or something, maybe you might even find that this is a pretty advanced skill, but you might even find that people don't even know what you said back. They can't even say it because they immediately got into their own feelings. When you discover that, it's not your problem. That's not you. They didn't even hear what you said. They just felt something and started to be upset or sad. They started to feel something. They started to laugh. And you didn't want them to laugh. They in their own feelings. Why are you laughing at my pain? That's not good. That's not what I intended to come out. So to stop being misunderstood, this is really helpful skill of reflecting back to each other. Asking them to reflect back. What did you hear? What did you hear me say? And you can investigate. But quite often what happens is that we don't know how to do this, like reflecting back, ask them to paraphrase back what it is that you said. We don't know how to do this. And when we do it, initially it feels stupid. We're resistant to it. It feels stupid. I heard what you said. When I was first learning how to do this, I remember it like it was yesterday. I was in this group therapy. I went to group therapy for 4 years. I was in this group therapy session, and it was part of learning these skills, right? And I had said a bunch of stuff about my day, and this guy reflected it back to me, and I thought he was making fun of me. I felt like he was just teasing me because I just said that. Like, why would you repeat that back to me? I was having all kinds of feelings and reactions and frustrations about this, and I'm like, I don't like this guy. But really, he was demonstrating that he heard what I said. So that misinterpretation disappears. Because I said the words, he processed them, and then he said it back to me. So now I know that he knows, right? You following me with this? I know that he knows what I had said. There's no confusion. There's no misinterpretation. Whatever feelings that he has about it, they're not showing up. It's just a reflection of what I had said. So however you want to call it, echoing back, reflecting, all that stuff. If you just ask this question, just ask, see somebody reacting the way that you didn't expect, the way that you weren't hoping for. If you said something that might have rubbed them the wrong way, you can be a powerful one in this conversation and be like, look, I don't know what I said that got you so upset. So can you tell me what you heard? And just listen to see if they repeat it back to you. Listen to see what they heard to avoid that misinterpretation. Hey, Patterns of Possibility fam. If you'd like a little more guidance and hands-on support, then I've got great news. You can hire me as your own personal coach. Go to patternsofpossibility.com/coaching to apply for individual or group coaching. In this 12-week program, I'm going to help you make the meaningful connections that you deserve. After this coaching program, I promise you'll be able to do 3 things. 1, you'll be able to clearly identify who belongs in your tribe and who doesn't. Say goodbye to those people who are wishy-washy, you're unsure of. No, you will know for certain whether or not they deserve to be in the same space with you. And second, you are going to know that your thoughts and feelings are valid and worth expressing. So if you do have feelings about your friends not holding up boundaries or not holding up space for you or not meeting your needs, then you are not going to shy away from telling them. You will be able to communicate your boundaries in a clear, concise manner and advocate for yourself in your relationships. And finally, you are going to learn how to start and stop conversations with strangers and steer them towards topics that are interesting and important to you. I don't know about you, but I don't have weeks, months, years to discover whether or not me and my new friend have compatible values. If you know what you're looking for, you can discover if you're compatible in just a few conversations. If all this sounds good to you and you're ready to make those meaningful connections, go to patternsofpossibility.com/coaching to find out more information. Again, go to patternsofpossibility.com/coaching to find out more information. I look forward to working with you. Now it's time for your listener letters. If you have burning questions about your friendships and your platonic relationships with your coworkers and so forth, let me know. Write me at patternsofpossibility@gmail.com and I might just read your letter out loud. How do I stop being jealous and insecure? Man, that's a question, isn't it? I have a friend who goes to school, has their future, has friends and amazing hobbies. I threw away my future because of depression. They picked up a lot of my interest over the years, like games, shows, baking, which I was fine with, but right now it upsets me. I know this is a bad way of thinking, but I can't help but to feel they're way better than me in everything. I stopped baking because of my family, but I really enjoyed it. They still bake because they enjoy it, but they started because of me sharing my creations. How do I stop feeling this way? My brain is telling me to cut them off and a lot of other things, but I need to get a second opinion. They're my only friend, so I feel terrible. They complained about their brother copying them, which I think started how I'm feeling right now. So recognizing that, realize that they feel that way. I don't know how to explain it properly, but I want to be happy for them. I really do. I know I'm probably leaving out a lot of things, but I can't think properly right now. I just really need to take a week-long break or from seeing them every once in a while or something, because I get overwhelmed and I don't want to lash out or say things I regret. I took a week break and I can't stop feeling this way. Just thinking about them annoys me. I don't know if this is the right thing to do, but man, it's frustrating. So how do you stop being jealous and insecure? Well, it's not going to happen by listening to this podcast right away. This is a process. And there's something missing and it's not like a light switch where you turn off and turn on instantly, because, somebody out there be rich. Somebody out there be really rich. How do I stop? Just take this pill. Just do these few things. Squat, drink water, eat right, exercise, and there you go. No more jealousy. So with this, obviously your feelings are valid and worth expressing. Always. It's always worth expressing. There's nothing bad about what you are feeling. The impact that you might have on your friend and the rest of your life looking around is going to likely, well, what I'm reading here and what I'm gathering, it's impacting you in a not desirable way. Like, you don't desire to be jealous of your friend. You want them to be your friend who's close, who's fun. You can bake together and do cool stuff together. So what do you need to do? Well, I'd love to give you some actionable steps. Definitely talk to somebody who's smarter than me, like a therapist, about what's going on with you in your life. You can actually go through the process, because this is just the beginning. It's really beginning steps. It's natural to be jealous of people, no matter who they are, no matter how they show up in our lives. That's why we have dysfunctional families. That's why we have toxic relationships. It's natural to have that happen, but processing those feelings about why they're there in the first place is very important. It's essential. You have to be able to do that. And you recognize, first of all, I'm going to give you lots of kudos for that. You recognize that it's a problem. It's like, I know I don't want to be angry, but man, this guy does everything I want to do and I can't stand it. I can't stand it. I'd like you to, first think about therapy, and also actionable step, give yourself some grace. If you're able to give yourself some grace, you said you threw your life away because of depression. You threw your future away. Oh boy, if you listen to some of my earlier podcasts, especially the one where I talked about being in a fog, I can't remember the name of the podcast episode right now, but it was a couple of years ago when I just described depression as a fog, and it was just so thick and I couldn't see, I couldn't do anything. I didn't know how to get through it. It just was there, and I felt paralyzed, and I felt sad. I didn't even know where the sadness came from. It was just like it rolled in from somewhere. It rolled in, and I was just sad. And I couldn't clean. I didn't want to clean. I didn't know what was fun. I couldn't find joy, basically, want to say. So you're in this space, and it sounds like you have made a decision to throw it away. Like, you decided that you wanted to be depressed, and you decided that you just wanted to throw your life away. And I don't think that's what happened. It might feel like that, but that's where you get some insight and support from somebody who can help you reflect, can help you discover that, wow, I discovered it was just there. I didn't know why it was there, and I had to go discover what happens when I feel this way and what I need to do about it, and recognizing those things. And you are well on your way, because you're talking about your feelings about this person and this undesired experience that you're having. Because I'll bet you, if you go back and look at that depression with somebody, be like, yeah, this isn't an experience that I wanted for myself, that I wanted to throw my life away. I wanted to feel this way. It just came up, and I didn't have the tools or the skills to handle it. So once you get all that set, I'm just saying that to not be jealous of them, that jealousy would just go away. That understanding that it seems like they're so much further in life in you because you chose to not go further. And that's not what I'm seeing for you. And you may discover this too, as I said for the third time. Taking space away from your friend is important. And I always tell people that they need to take space, create space for themselves. Right now, your feelings are crowding up your entire relationship with this person. It's crowding it up, and they may be hurt, or maybe sad, or maybe frustrated, or maybe beg you or something, but you really, really do have to take care of yourself. If you want to stop being jealous and insecure, you have to get away from that thing that triggers that jealousy and that insecureness. I tell people to create space with everybody. You got to take care of yourself first. You can't pour from an empty cup. You also can't help anybody if you can't manage your feelings and your emotions. They're going to want to hang out with you and do something cool, and you just want to punch them in the face. Like, you're just going to be admitting this terrible feeling towards them. And that's really not what you want to do, as you said in your letter. That's not really what you want to do in the first place. You really want to show love and compassion and be supportive, and recognizing that right now you can't do it is a really key piece of it. So look into getting some therapy, of course. Create some space. Everybody talks about journaling, but do the journaling thing. I mean, you wrote this out and you know how therapeutic it is. You must know how therapeutic it is to get it out of your body. And you didn't even just write it out on a piece of paper. You wrote it out to share it with somebody else. So there's some power in every time you feel a certain way, getting it out. Just get it out of yourself. And then you can go back and read it. Go back and read it and think about, reflect on why you felt that way. Where did this come from? And you'll get a little deeper and you'll get a little deeper when you do that. It's like having a conversation with yourself. You don't just journal and forget about it. You go back and you read it and you reflect. And you understand who you are. You get more of an understanding of why you believe that depression was a choice for you. Why do you believe that you can't stop being jealous? Well, you know that you can because you must know that you can because you asked for help. You must know that it's possible and you're really working towards it. You'll get the answer. You're doing all the right things. You're doing all the things, let's say, that helped me discover the answer. Because I always used to be jealous of people and frustrated because they did something better than me. I automatically thought that I was less than because they could do something better. And I didn't even want to do the thing better. I just saw people praising them and being excited for them. And I was like, I want that praise and excitement. They should not have it. I should have it all. And where did that come from? Well, I spent some time discovering it. So you're on the right track. You got this. Hey, thank you so much for listening. If you like this podcast, share with someone who you think could benefit from this information and follow me on social media. You can find me at Patterns of Possibility on all social media. And I go live on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. You can catch me and learn more about these social connections and interact with other people who are looking for the meaningful connections, who share the same kind of stories, and be in community. And don't forget to sign up for my newsletter at patternsofpossibility.com, where you will get actionable steps delivered to your mailbox every week. Thanks again for listening. Until next time, take care.